on my birthday.
Yay! We are now recording the Small Business Accounting Advisors, July 24th, 2020. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Happy
Happy
Friday.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. What's happening, everybody?
My dog won't leave me alone.
I'm getting ready to go on vacation. That's all I know.
Are you really going to go fishing, or are you just going to where they fish?
No, I'm definitely going fishing. I've already spent money for the Idaho fishing license. So if I don't use it at least once, I'm going to get in big trouble.
What are you going to catch? What are you fishing for?
Nothing.
Right?
Fish.
It's not
no
called
kinds of
catching,
fishing.
Linda, it's fishing.
This big.
No,
Yes.
this big.
Oh,
Oh, I mean, speaking of this big, it's so funny. My wife already gave it away, but you should see the zucchini I pulled out of the garden today.
Oh, I saw that.
No, today.
Today.
I don't even know where this thing was, but I didn't catch it in time. It was over a foot long.
wow.
Yikes.
They're
Growing like weeds.
What'd you do with it?
Zucchini bread?
Yum.
No, my wife gave it away to the guy who's going to watch our dogs while we're away on vacation.
Okay.
We've had
Maybe
zucchini muffins, zucchini cookies.
I have a really good recipe for chocolate zucchini bread. They almost taste like brownies.
Nice.
Yum.
But you get all those nourishments, right?
Right, because there's chocolate in there.
Oh, I like it.
So Miss Shannon, you brought up something.
I wish
Tins again.
See, I know there was a court case and all the other stuff that went, and because they charged for P-TINs originally, and then they were told they couldn't and had to refund the money.
And they did.
But they never refunded the money because it went through court and everything. And I've got flies. So the IRS, the final regulations were issued today, not today, July 15th. I'm reading an old article, and it says that the IRS is allowed to set a fee for P-TINs. So they are starting with your next renewal, which everybody has to renew in December for the following year. It's going to be $21 per P-TIN application or renewal, plus a $14.95 fee payable to a contractor.
I would love to sell them a
$14.95 to a contractor for what?
I have no idea.
I bet you
So,
the credit card.
Probably.
Here's the article that I'm reading from. So yeah, this is, I have no idea what that means. But
You have to pay the IRS in order to file tax returns for them?
yes.
Yes.
And there was in my group, there was a little bit of a dust up on who actually is required to have a P-TIN, because they're normally, if you're just preparing payroll returns and W-2s, you don't need to have a P-TIN. However, if you're going to advise any of your clients on anything payroll related, you need a P-TIN. So
that doesn't make sense. I thought the reason that they started the P-TIN was to protect the people that were filing the returns for clients, so you didn't have to put your information out there, your social security number. It's
just an identification number to protect your social or your EIN.
Yeah.
That's all it is. And I've had one since 1988. And had it for years and years and years, and then they came up with let's look at my list. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, looks like in 2010 it was 6425. Then and that might have been a credit card fee. And then I had $63 for 4 years. Then it went down to 50, and then stopped. And they were supposed to refund all this. And then it got all in the, like you said, all in the courts and everything. So now it's back. But you know, it's like I, for years and years and years, did 941, you know, the whole payroll returns. Now I'm a registered agent. See, I never signed them. I always just prepared them and gave them to my clients to sign. Now that we're doing everything electronically, I have a registered agent form for every client. So I guess technically I don't need a P10 on the 941, but then there's that gray area. If I give advice, well, of course, advice.
Right. And I had one person in my group just, you don't need a P10 for this and you don't need a P10 for that. And I'm like, I do. I have asked because I'm like, why not just get one and be safe? Because I didn't have a P10 and I almost got into a lot of trouble because I was doing prior payrolls and helping people come up with what their salary amount was and advising them on if they had employees or independent contractors. And the other piece that I do is I write the abatement letters. So and if you do a 941, an amended 941, and there's a refund on it, that is technically you're requesting a refund from the IRS on a client's behalf, which means that you're getting paid to request a refund.
So you don't even know if you would need it in advance for, like, you know, until the event happens.
Like
right.
The second quarter 941s and having to fill them out, because that sure seems like there's advice going along with that.
Right. Right. Yeah. So I just couldn't imagine doing what I do not having one after reading the regulations on who is required to have a P10.
But registered agents don't. I'm trying to think. It all fills in automatically now, but it's paid prepare, which we are. I am assigned as a registered agent, but I think I'm required to put. We're not required to put the EIN.
What do you say, Dennis?
I guess I could look at a return.
I would say you're better. I would just do it rather than take the risk.
It's
probably not. The fines probably would not be worth the risk of, you know, what you'd actually pay to get one.
Absolutely.
Right. And,
Absolutely.
you know, they have a FAQ on, do I need a P10? And it says, a P10 must be obtained by all enrolled agents as well as all tax return preparers who are compensated for preparing or assisting in the preparation of all or substantially all of the U.S. federal tax return claim for refund or other tax forms submitted to the IRS except the following. And it accepts the W-2 series of returns, but it does not accept the 900 series of returns.
Right.
So and that doesn't make any sense either.
We're doing quarterlies.
What are W-2s based on?
Right.
I mean, if it was like $500 for the fee, that'd be one thing, but it's only what, $50?
$35.95.
Yeah, it's not worth the risk of any.
Yeah, anytime you talk to the IRS, it's going to be more than $35. So just cover yourself.
Yeah.
Well, plus if you have a P10, you get to the preparer's line, which has a very, very short hold time.
Only sometimes, huh, Dennis?
I wouldn't say that.
I've just gotten lucky because I have never sat on hold for more than 5 minutes when I call the preparer line.
Oh, when
You picked the right time.
have you heard of courtesy disconnects? That's if you're on hold for an hour, they think it's very courteous just to disconnect you so you don't waste any more of your time, so that you get to call back again.
I have not had that happen.
I've waited on hold for probably 2 hours one time.
No, I was on hold for so long before I had my P10 that I forgot I was on hold and left the room. I get
What
back
do I
and
do?
I got back and my person that was sitting right outside my office door, they're like, "Were you on the phone? Because somebody kept saying hello." And then I got back and I'm like, "Shit, I was on the phone with the IRS."
I missed them after being on hold for that long.
I know. And then they were gone, of course, because they're not going to sit and wait for you.
Right.
Nope, they pull the hook pretty quick.
All righty. Well, let's go to Sarah. Sarah, 5 o'clock Friday, you get a phone call.
I know, and that's what I'm working on the other monitor. Okay, I lost you guys. Where are you? Oh, hi. Yes, I have a gallery downtown where the clerks are really owners. It's a co-op, and they all work 1 or 2 days a week. So we have a whole bunch of new artists that are working. And I have a training manual and everything. They're in charge of training all the new people, okay? So 5 o'clock, I get a call. It's from the manager. She's at home, and she said, "I don't know what to do. They can't take credit cards." And I'm like, and I said, "What's it doing?" And she said, "It's asking for their Intuit login." I'm like, here we go again. I've done this before. So what's happening is Intuit puts up these little sales banners in the products. We see them in QuickBooks, we see them all over. So in point of sale is a big banner along the bottom that says, "Start accepting payments, click here." And what they did was somebody came up to buy something and they said, "Oh, I need to turn," they clicked it. Well, clicking it activated, it turned on, and I just found the setting. There's a setting in the
Integrated payments?
No. What it did is it turned off our merchant services, turned on theirs, and then is asking them to log in. So I just figured out the fix like a few seconds ago. So, because I couldn't remember.
Maybe we could help you, by the way.
No. What? You know why I couldn't find it? Because figure this out. You go file and then file setup interview.
Part of the setup interview.
And then when you go to
can't
setup
get any other way.
there's a payments tab, and there's a question: would you like to accept credit cards or debit cards? And it will be flipped to yes, and you got to flip it to no, reboot, and I think that fixes it. Because we reinstalled software, we did everything last time, but I would have never thought to go to the setup interview to find this setting.
No, not at all.
Anyway, so as soon as we hang up, I'll call down there and
be the hero, fly in.
I have a question, Sarah. This is QuickBooks Online, right?
No, this is point of sale.
Oh, it's point of sale. Can you turn off the notifications in that? Because in desktop, we can turn them
That's
off.
the problem in a nutshell, Linda.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it is. It's a big problem.
And in your face and so bold that you can click it by accident. And you get no warning, boom, all of a sudden you're shut out.
Turned off my other merchant services.
And the people in line waiting to pay with a credit card, oh well. I used to have a bunch of the old credit card slips, like remember the old?
Oh yeah.
Roll yes. And I would just write down the information. Thank you for the credit card. We'll let you know, and I'll send you a receipt in the mail.
Yep.
Fortunately, with COVID and everything, they're really slow. But here comes Prancy over here.
That could ruin your afternoon.
But it was like right at 5 o'clock, and I went, and I'm on vacation, so of course I saw her in caller ID, so I had to answer. But yeah. So anyway, there's always something. But now here's the thing: my mind immediately went to, I've done this before. And it's been 2 years. Like I remembered installing and reinstalling the software, and that's why I panicked. Because I thought, I'm going to have to drive down there and reinstall the pet. But then when we started talking, all of a sudden my little brain, that little memory went, oh no, you didn't. The trick. And the trick
we did all that and it didn't work.
Well, but the trick what I'm remembering was a trick was that it was in a dumb place.
And there you were correct.
So while we're doing this, I'm making screenshots and putting it in OneNote because OneNote is my brain.
Yep.
Because when I was 25, I could remember. Again, I can't remember. So, yeah, that's what I've been doing all week is putting so much into OneNote. She's trying to dig through. She's trying to dig a hole.
You know,
Here, Matt.
my dog does that, but the good news is my dog is 8 pounds. So
So anyway, that was my little, thing right at 5
Fiasco
o'clock.
for Friday, something to ruin your vacation.
Well, I want to help. I could hear the panic,
Right.
and she said, "We'll just write down their credit cards if they'll let us," and so we'll ring them back when I call. But anyway, but yeah, the merchant services would have been great, except that they charge per sale. It's not just a percentage, and so it was just a lot more inexpensive for me to put Skyline in. So
that's what they're using, Skyline.
Skyline works beautifully in point of sale and desktop, and they just came out with a QBO link.
Nice.
This week, so I'm real excited to see that because I haven't
Try that.
recommend it to anybody because it didn't do QBO. So
Got
anyway,
it.
I like choices. I like to. If I want to use Intuit products, I still want to have choices on the add-ons.
Exactly. All righty, we're going to switch over to Miss Linda Russell.
all right.
And we're going to talk about scaling new heights. What's new with scaling new heights?
Well, last week we mentioned they have moved to November 8th, Sunday, November 8th to Wednesday, November 11th. And they're still at the largest Marriott in the world in Orlando, Florida. And plenty of room to have 6 feet or 10 feet or more between the people. And they came up with the neatest little system, and I have it on my phone, but I do not have it online yet. If we needed, we could make Ernest go into his computer, but he actually posted it on Facebook. Is it on your Facebook, Ernest Cook, or is it the Better Ideas site, or which site is it on Facebook?
It's on my Facebook profile.
Okay, so
Better
anyway,
Idea with Ernest.
got it. But I took pictures with my phone of the screen. And
I haven't shared, Linda. Do you want me to share my screen? I have Ernest post up.
Oh, okay, great. That would be great. The main thing I did 3 things. One on social distancing. There were 3 slides on the social distancing, but I thought the most inventive one were the 3 armbands. And I sent pictures of that to my daughter, who's sponsoring a Holistic Chamber 10th anniversary event. Here we go. We have remote and on-premise or in-person kind of thing. And so if you're remote, there's no travel costs. There's obviously you're doing it from the comfort of your own home. So you know where the bathroom is, which is always handy.
Close.
And there's no line.
I know. So, and I love this. More work, like harmonized, easier note-taking, screen capture tools, multi-monitors, okay, no power issues, I like that. And then on premises, you get stronger professional networking, more focused environment, higher touch interaction.
Touch would be speak, yeah.
If you want touch. But now, do you have the one with the 3 armbands, the red, yellow, and green? You don't have that picture.
Because I actually didn't like that picture, but I didn't post that. But
okay, got it.
The only reason I posted
thread.
that was I was getting the sense that people didn't actually understand what the remote option was. And
yes, you're right.
I've seen I've attended actually Microsoft conferences, Apple conferences, a lot of different salons conference, and a lot of those are pretty low quality, basically Zoom meetings.
Yes.
And
yes.
people are trying to compare the price point that Joe is put out there with a Zoom meeting. And I think the fair point is he's not doing a Zoom meeting. He actually says during his presentation that, look, we actually started thinking about, it's not just Corona, but it's also a lot of other reasons that people might want to be remote. And so he started actually being innovative. So he came up with this concept of basically a news reporter. I know, like Matthew, you've gone and done that before, right? People that haven't been able to the conference, you kind of zoom around and, talk to different vendors, get some feedback and put that stuff out there. So he's hiring a whole cadre of these people and sending them around in sessions so that, if I'm sitting here as a reporter, I can turn to the person next to me and interact with remote people. I think it's kind of an interesting concept, and certainly we have to all agree that he's in a pretty tight position because, he's got a national conference, and I think it's a pretty significant part of his entire business model. It's like you can't just, it's like a restaurant just closing, right? It's that's I think the best way that I can kind of think about it. So I'm like, well, at least put out there what he's put out there, because not everybody's going to sit there and go through the hour-long meeting. And so his concept's kind of unique.
I agree with you. I think that Joe has been very innovative for a long time with the remote and the webinar and his online training that he's done. I haven't seen anything as good as what he's got.
A couple of other points that I would actually pull out of his presentation that I think would be important for people to know with regard to the remote option. One is, you may be used to the fact that historically all the keynotes were live streamed. He's cutting that off. So if you're not a paid participant, you're not going to see any part of the conference.
That's right.
So for anybody with FOMO, there you have it. And I think that the other pretty interesting point is his conference app this year. If you're in the conference app, then you actually have a one-on-one, if I want to FaceTime with Linda, and she doesn't want to give me her private, FaceTime account or whatever, I know, right? She would never do that. She's going to call me at weird hours. You can actually do it right inside the conference app.
Right.
So, and I think those are, pretty interesting innovations that, he's thrown out there. So you have high quality presentations for the main stage. I would say at least medium to high quality. He's obviously going for high production with hiring, I think it's a 3-person crew, multiple 3-person crews to go into the sessions.
Yes, I think he's going to have 4 of them, 4 3-person crews. Kind of like having your own news reporter and cameraman.
Ernest, what are we going to do? There's only going to be you, me, and Veronica. What can we do while we're in Florida?
I'm going to be there. I'm
coming. Oh, you're coming?
Yeah,
good. All right, be you, me, Veronica, and Linda.
Linda's showing us the armband.
I'm getting the armband. The red is stay away from me. Stay 15, 20 feet
That won't
away.
work with Matthew. He can't see red.
Yeah, actually, I gave that point to Joe, and
We'll have to make
he loved that point.
Yellow
I'll wrap
is
myself in it. Stay away.
I didn't give Matthew credit for that, but I did tell him that I thought a red X, a green circle, and a yellow rectangle would be better.
yes, that's good. And the yellow means I'll talk but not touch. Well, that's good. Hello,
Yeah,
shut
that's
up.
kinda working, Linda.
And then the green is I'll high five and I'll hug or whatever,
Are people really going to hug? I don't think that's a good idea.
Well, I actually hug because when you hug somebody, you don't put their face anywhere near their face. You go over their shoulder.
Oh, sorry. That's too close.
Too close for comfort.
I won't hug you. I'm only going to hug Ernest.
I am a stubborn hugger. It is really hard for me not to grab people. I'm a grabber.
It is. It's extremely
I really try
hard.
not
Better
to
watch out, Linda.
face to face with anyone. That's what I'm without a mask. That's the way I go face to face. So
Hey, I could just tell you that the election will be over by then, so Corona will be gone by then.
wouldn't that be nice? That would be very
Ernest.
nice.
Did you just say that out loud?
Money on Ernest.
Ernest, do you think that's true no matter who wins?
Yeah. I'm just going to stop now.
Yes.
Okay, I got it.
I'm not going down
I
that
have
rabbit
no
hole.
idea.
I know better than that.
I
That was
have
a
no
setup.
idea.
She was sorry to
I'm not
set you
going down
up.
that rabbit hole.
I was shocked in 2016. I
So
really
we're
was
gonna
shocked.
save the best for last, and that is digital filing, going paperless, and how do you maintain your digital files without losing everything? Do you have a method?
Keep it all in your email.
Yeah, Licio.
I am heavy into OneNote, and I've got all my documents up on SharePoint or Teams or whatever. So I'm trying to go paperless. I'm worried that I'm not going to find things like you were talking about the P10. I knew exactly where my file was, and here's my P10 stuff.
I know with Licio, I just found out this morning that you can print you can print the Licio, so it'll actually file it away for you.
Really?
And Chris was showing me that. I have never used it. It's part of the desktop app, which I still haven't used.
So it does document management.
And it's going to get better. He was telling me about it's going to be better and better as it goes along.
Again, I do because
Have you played with that, Sarah?
Huh?
Sarah, have you played with the print to Licio? I haven't.
No, not to print. Not.
No, the other Sarah.
Oh,
Well,
no.
that's
I know,
Sarah.
sorry.
Sarah.
I was on the phone. That's why I
Short
couldn't-
Sarah, little Sarah.
There's Amazon Sarah, normal Sarah.
No.
Amazon Sarah and little
Wait,
Sarah.
I don't know that I'm normal at this height. I mean, I'm shorter than I was ever before. I've lost an inch and a half. Linda, I haven't yet tried it.
I forgot about it, and I told him he's also talked about we can get in the beta for the new tagging system, because I told him, I said pain point, with one of our clients, I spent a lot of time redoing and
He
retagging
should
because
not ask us if we want that. He should
I know,
just
and
do that.
he said you can print to the file, and I said, because one of the things is clients just upload it and they get really lazy, they just upload everything to one thing, client
Yeah.
upload, tag, and I said I have to go in and retag it. He said he's going to be working on some new things where you have to kind of make them pick a tag.
Yeah. That's awesome.
I
Yeah.
That'll
think
help.
tagging is the key, and also naming conventions.
Yes.
It's like I have been doing naming conventions for so long that it's a habit for me to start the name with today's date.
And it's got to be
2020-07-20. Yeah.
no dashes, dots. Dots are better.
Dots. All right, data people, Matthew
Well-
and Ernest. What's the difference? Like some people say no spaces. Some
Yep.
people say underlines. Some
Yep.
people say dots, and I do dashes. So
'Cause-
what am I doing? What will that hurt? Or what's
Well-
the advantage?
Go for it, Ernest.
I mean, as long as there's a character there, it's better than not a character there. Having said that, there are also some characters that are
Big no-nos.
better than others, right? Yeah, I mean, so like the ampersand character would be one of my favorite. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's the one that you can't read. But
Yeah.
can you tell how old somebody is if they use underscores instead of a dash?
Well,
would that
the
be
underscore, the reason
That's
for
old
underscore-
DOS. Isn't that old?
When you query a database, if you put a file, like if you put something and it has a space between words,
Yeah.
it's going to actually change that to an underscore instead to keep them
Connected.
Right, Ernest?
Yeah, so when you're doing a database query, literally, you actually end up having to type more because then you have to put brackets around it so that it knows the actual name, right? So that's why almost real databases, if I can say it that way, almost always actually, the words get slammed together just because it's way faster to type. Because you don't have to type nearly as many characters. What's interesting though is like things like Power BI, allow you to go have that underlying name and then you have a display name separately, which is actually quite pleasant, because then you can just drag and drop inside that UI, and you don't have to have all that baggage of the underscores, the dashes, and all that. Then you can actually have a real English name. So that's one of the reasons why I like those platforms.
Am I wasting my time with underscores? I don't need to do it. I can leave a space.
Slam the words together.
Tell us what you want. What do you want? I don't.
What do you recommend?
What do you want us to type?
Yeah, put all the characters together. Camel case is actually what I always use.
You mean like one long run on word?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
camel case is
Camel like an animal?
every word
Yeah.
at the beginning of every word is a capital letter.
Yep.
Oh,
There you go. Yeah.
Then you can actually
Capital little,
visually see the
capital
words
little,
then.
Capital
but-
little.
I did not know that.
Well, it's
Did
the
not know that.
first
Well, how do
letter
you
of the
parse
word is
out?
capital.
How do you? I guess you don't. Okay, but for a date, you want a dot, or do you want 2/20/20/07/23 with all blurred together?
Yeah, there's pretty much no good answer for a date. And the only reason I say that is because you're probably gonna have to cut it up. So the biggest thing that I would tell you with regard to a date and for parsing it
Yeah.
is just be consistent, right? So
Whatever you
if
do, yeah.
if you're gonna do a month, always do 2 letters or 2
Right.
characters,
Right.
right? Because I would like to be able to parse the first 2 characters, skip one, whatever it is, go to the next 2 characters,
Yeah.
skip another one, and pick up the next 4 characters. Let's
I
not have
always-
another Y2K.
Well, I always start with the year first, then the month, and then the day because
Yeah,
it'll
so do I.
sort chronologically.
That's
Right.
what I do, year, month, date, but then I
Yeah.
don't put any periods, I don't put any spaces, I do. Today would be 20/07/24.
Perfect. As long as it's predictable and consistent,
Yep.
it's pretty easy to parse. But it's when it's unpredictable, the 7/24/20 versus the 10/6/20.
And don't get me started on Canadian.
Oh, it messes my head up so bad, especially in March. For some reason, March, I was like, I don't get this.
Breathe. Like March, anywhere between before the 12th of the month.
Yeah,
Like,
just wrong.
because the month and the days are reversed, right? So if you've got, it could be
Oh,
either
so
way.
they go the day, the month, the year?
European way? My
Too
son
bad
does
Yeah.
it the European way, and I always have to stop and think, like, oh, this is the other way.
The backwards way.
Because
Too
that's
bad
how
Tiffany
he's
left.
taught. Oh, that's the only way he knows it. That's how he's taught. So
I have trouble with it when I look at it. It's kind of like, oh God, I have to think
We-
too hard.
We say that when the planes land backwards here at Ontario Airport, we have times when the winds blow the wrong way. And when they do, the planes have to come around and land in the other direction. But they're not landing backwards, but that's what we say. And people wonder, do the planes really land backwards?
or the time. the
So I
time of the
think
year.
we're going to end today. I don't know, Ernest, if you said anything last week about publishing your book you just published.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to say anything right now because I'm going on vacation tomorrow.
Okay, well, next week after you're back, you can
Where are you
say
going? Going somewhere good?
fishing.
Yeah, we're going to go up to northern Idaho, do some, first we're going to Walla Walla, do some wine tasting, then we're going to Coeur d'Alene, do some fishing, biking, and then over to
Wait, is
Montana.
Walla Walla even open for wine tasting?
Can you get me some potatoes since you're in Idaho?
You can get
All
Idaho
I have to do is
potatoes
go
at
to
the
my
local
garden.
supermarket. Ernest, I learned something new about when you go to northern Idaho. It's the Pacific time zone.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Is it not in the southern part of Idaho? Is it a different one?
Yeah, it's mountains.
in Idaho. I didn't know that until recently.
Coeur d'Alene area, is that what you're saying?
Yeah, the northern Idaho, which is opposite the Washington,
Yeah.
is Pacific time.
Yeah.
Because I don't know why, but it is. I learned that from one of those trivia questions. Yes.
Really?
Yep. So don't be surprised when the time changes on you. So yeah, I knew that.
There you
Does that mean I
go.
can sleep in an hour later tomorrow because, you know, the wineries are going to open later?
Now you know.
Could be, could be. Well, you'll have to check and see.
You're right. Wow, it is Pacific. Oh.
Ah!
Oh, look at
Look
that.
at
That line is,
that!
I mean, it's fun. It's fun to talk about because that's what I tell people a lot. I mean, I'm so close to the Pacific time zone here.
You're
Oh,
not
wow.
Pacific?
Just the northern half of the state carves it out.
Like, same thing with Oregon. It's got that little tiny, like, why would you do that to yourself?
Well, look at Indiana has this one little piece,
Yep.
and before
Yeah, why would you do that?
Indiana didn't used to participate in daylight savings time,
And then they said, we'll come in and mess you all up.
except
Oh, yeah.
except for the one piece that was in Central Time Zone was the only one that participated in daylight savings time.
That was on the like an OPB or some sort of segment I watched, and I remember seeing the state line thing. Like you'd cross in, like there's like a divide line, a central line time zone thing that you'd cross the street or something. Like
Well, they said the reason that they did it was because of business. There was a lot of business that was done across there.
Yeah, so
Well,
like
and
that
that's
part of
why.
Oregon that's attached to Idaho that's in our time zone.
They do more
yeah, that's
business
actually
with
a
you
very-
guys.
It's a very short drive for us to get over there.
Yeah.
There's actually a lot of people that kind of just like, well, there is a lot of commerce between here and that area of Oregon.
There's
Yeah.
really
In
only
fact,
two
there's
time
actually a
zones.
proposal out there. I mean, again, I don't want to get into the politics, but there's a proposal out there to actually take on a good part of that part of Oregon into the greater Idaho.
really.
Wow.
All I know is if I was a little kid and I lived right in that part of Oregon and my friend lived on the other side of like that line, I would absolutely take advantage of the extra hour and get in trouble all the time for coming home late.
You're from
And
what I was gonna say
notice
is I'm so close.
Arizona.
I'm so close to the Pacific time zone. I mean, we literally get light here, you know, very late at night. So, you know, 9:30,
Yeah.
10 o'clock.
Yeah.
So we love that part of of being here.
See, you never know what you're going to learn on the happy hour.
We're going to end on that note. See you all same time, same place next week.
Yay.
Bye.
Bye.